Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is Garcelle Beauvais spilling the beans on an off camera conversation she had with Kyle, as Erika continues to show us that she hasn't changed, and she tells the entire cast to shut the F up about marriage rumors. And of course, Sutton is weighing in on what's really going on with Kyle and Morgan. So before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's go. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Garcelle Beauvais engaged in an off-camera conversation with Kyle Richards, in which her Real Housewives of Beverly Hills castmate addressed the swirling rumors about her marriage to Mauricio Umansky. After Wednesday's new episode saw Kyle being accused of keeping her marriage issues from her co-stars, Garcelle detailed their prior chat as Erika Jane slammed the cast for their incessant questions, and Kyle reacted to Dorit questioning her about Mauricio on camera. Okay, a couple of things to note before we keep going. Number one, it's really hypocritical and funny because Dorit had been out here saying, "Oh, Garcelle and Sutton were the ones who set up this whole conversation about talking about Kyle's marriage and Mauricio cheating rumors." But like we're going to get into, Dorit was the one who also brought up on camera talking to Kyle about what was going on in her marriage to Mauricio. So, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Dorit, if you want to really call yourself a friend to Kyle, have that conversation off camera with her, like Garcelle did, versus having that conversation on camera with her. And Kyle has consequently said, I actually wasn't ready to talk about it when Dorit brought it up. So, there is that. Also, I realize that maybe a big reason why Kyle is spiraling is because some of the rumors that resurfaced this year about Mauricio are the rumors about the affair that he had allegedly with a trans woman. So maybe that's why she's spiraling, because that's the rumor that resurfaced that started 10 years ago. Maybe that's a part of it, why it's hitting so hard this time. Maybe she thought that rumor was like put to bed, and maybe because it came back up, it brought up old wounds. But let's keep going. I spoke to her in Vegas. It was off camera, but we were in the bathroom because I had just seen an article and I go, "Oh my gosh, doesn't it drive you crazy that these articles keep coming out about your marriage?" And she goes, "Yeah, it did in the beginning, but now I kind of it rolls off my back." Garcelle recalled on the November 30th episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show. Although Garcelle didn't think much of the conversation at the time, it resurfaced in her mind after Kyle was seen without her wedding ring. She then cut to the ring and cut to everything else we're piecing together. It felt like obviously something's going on, she explained. They weren't talking about Dorit and Paul PK, so it just felt like if there's something, just say something. I mean, that's another thing. Why aren't they talking about Dorit and PK? They are, word on the street. They're separated and they're not happy. So we need to talk about their marriage too. Dorit does say she's not happy, that PK doesn't support her, and all of that, but she's not being honest about the deep things, the deep-seated things that's going on in their marriage. What about him always being in London and she's feeling like he's not there to support her and the kids? All of that. What about their financial problems, being sued left and right? Let's talk about that too. We got to talk about it. During a dinner Kyle hosted on the latest episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Garcelle and Sutton were particularly inquisitive about what was happening between Kyle and Mauricio, which made Kyle feel as if she was being attacked. That's another thing, Kyle. You weren't being attacked, you were being questioned the same exact way you would have questioned anybody else. If Garcelle was going through what you're going through, you would bring it up. If Erika was doing it, you would bring it up. Certainly if Sutton was going through it, you would bring it up. If Crystal was going through it, you would bring it up. You've done it before. You participated in talking about Lisa Vanderpump and Yolanda Hadid. You've participated in talking about your own sister. Like, you've participated in talking about other people's marriages and lives and rumors for the entire 13 or 14 years of the show. So you're not being attacked. you're on a reality show about married and divorced women in Beverly Hills. So, of course, your marriage is going to be a topic of discussion. So, you're not being attacked. Like, you can't make yourself the victim when this is literally what you sign up for. Now, I do think that, of course, every human being has the right to certain things that are private and certain things that are sacred, and we all have to have healthy and respectful boundaries. Yes, 100%. Whether you're on a reality TV show or not, some things are just off bounds. However, the ladies talking about cheating rumors that are on the blogs and everywhere else, that's in bounds. That's the show that you're on. And also, you've done that yourself. So you can't say you're being attacked. You can't play victim when that's literally the name of the game. She goes, I couldn't wrap my head around that. I don't know why I felt like I was so much on the defense that night, she told Erika. Because you were. You were put on the defense, Erika replied. Why would you not have compassion when you too, Garcelle, went through a very public divorce and ugly things happened? But this is the thing. Garcelle does have compassion, but compassion doesn't mean I'm not going to do my job and talk about it. Compassion doesn't mean that I'm going to let you get by calling everybody out, but yet your marriage and your family is off limits when nobody else gets that luxury. That's not compassion. And Garcelle was being compassionate. She was like, look, when my husband cheated on me, I got all kinds of gifts. I got the Diamond Cross, and this happened to me. And then she talked about, what happened with her divorce. And she also talked about with her son about the cheating and her son knowing. So Garcelle was being very, very compassionate. Compassion doesn't mean I'm going to let you get away with everything that we wouldn't get away with. That's not compassion. Kissing Kyle's butt isn't being compassionate, you know? So don't conflict the two. Erika, go back to therapy and learn what compassion is because you're using it in the wrong way. In addition to Garcelle going through a messy split, Kyle noted that Sutton too has been through a divorce. And Sutton too talks about her divorce and how difficult it's been. And obviously, I'm not divorced, but I'm struggling with my husband, and people know that I've been very, very happy for a very long time, which obviously means that if I'm not, I'm in pain. So be nice, she advised. Well, they weren't not being nice. They were just asking you normal questions that friends would ask each other. And you, like you said, were being very much on the defensive and didn't want to talk about it because you thought that some reason your story should be protected when that's not the name of the game. I don't think that Sutton or Garcelle were attacking you or not being compassionate. They were simply asking questions about your marriage that is very public and on a show called The Real Housewives. I don't think it was any type of takedown or them not showing you compassion. Meanwhile, Erika was more blunt, telling her co-stars to shut the F up and asking what different does it make to you. Well, she also directly targeted Sutton, mocking her southern accent as she said, I'm not there to say, is there something you don't want to tell me, Kyle? You don't effing owe me an answer. Is there something you're not telling us? Why aren't you wearing your ring? As your friend, you're going to tell me what I need to know about your marriage. And at the end of the day, it's not my marriage. So I'm going to support you as a friend, whatever way this plays out, because that's what friends do, Erika continued. Yes and no. Yes, you ride with your friend, you ride it out. But just because you are a friend who's asking questions doesn't mean you're not being a friend, particularly when you're on this show. I respect Erika's position saying, hey, look, I'm not going to push it. If you want to talk to me about it, that's fine. But I also respect Garcelle and Sutton's positions where they're like, listen, we're on this show. This is the name of the game. I'm not making anything up. I'm simply asking you questions that are already out there. So let's talk about it the way we've talked about everybody. So I think both positions are valid. I don't think that Erika's is wrong, and I don't think that Garcelle and Sutton are wrong. According to Kyle, she doesn't feel it's her job to report to the cast daily with updates on her marriage. That's actually your job. Oh, Kyle, baby boo-boo. That's literally your job. What show are you on? The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? So that's literally your job. Would you like my therapist, our marriage counselor, or to do a printout and I can hand it out to all of you the next dinner party? She wondered. So are you guys in marriage counseling? Because word on the street were that you weren't in therapy. I think you should be. I think you should individually be in therapy and then as a couple have a couples therapist as well. Even with Dorit in the car asking me what's going on with you and Mo, I wish she had called me on the phone and said that instead. Well, Kyle, I'm going to give you a pass because at least you're staying consistent. At least you're staying consistent because you can't say that you're mad at Sutton or Garcelle for bringing it up when Dorit brought it up on camera multiple times. She brought it up in the car and she brought it up when you came to her house for dinner. So she brought it up multiple times. So at least you're staying consistent if you have an issue with it. So I will give you that, Kyle. But Sutton was still critical of her refusal to speak openly about her marriage. She doesn't want to talk about anything that's really going on in her life, at least with the group Sutton noted. She's close to Dorit, and Dorit didn't know, so she's not confiding in you, Sutton, and she's not confiding in Dorit. So I can't imagine she's confiding to Erika, Garcelle replied. At that point, Sutton seemingly gave a nod and swirling rumors regarding Kyle's relationship with 28-year-old country singer Morgan Wade. She's confiding in Morgan, Sutton suspected, and Garcelle agreed, stating, "There we have it." Elsewhere on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show, Kyle noted that while Dorit did bring up rumors about her marriage on camera, she didn't feel Dorit was coming for her. Well, Ding Dong Dorit was coming for you, Kyle, because did you not notice on the last episode, Ding Dong Dorit put Sutton up to talking to you at the dinner. She goes to Sutton. She's like, "Did you talk to Kyle yet?" And then also at the dinner, when Anne Marie was like, "Well, you guys aren't saying anything. Just say what it is. Say what it is. Say what it is," kind of egging Sutton on to say what it was. Dorit was like, yeah, she's right. Like, say it, Sutton. You know what I mean? Like, I don't trust Dorit. And I don't know why you trust Dorit, Kyle, especially when part of the rumors is that Dorit is having sex with your husband. Like, that was a rumor. So saying that you think Dorit isn't coming for you, I mean, maybe she's coming for your husband. Cha-ching! Anyway, I wouldn't have been probing her or asking her or pushing in this circumstance. It just felt very inappropriate for a friend to do that, Dorit explained. Well, Dorit, it's not really appropriate for you to be smelling and kissing her husband either, but yet you did. So there we have it. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Kyle is sort of having a double standard when it comes to Garcelle and Sutton asking questions about her marriage versus when Dorit does it? So when Garcelle and Sutton ask questions, they're coming for her and attacking her. But when Dorit asks questions, it's just her being a friend. I don't know. I think it's always boils down to, do I like you or not? To me, Garcelle, Sutton, and Dorit all did the same exact thing. They asked Kyle very obvious, necessary questions that have been in the media in public for a long time. In context to the show that they're on, I think they all did the same exact thing. I think Kyle's response is different because who she likes and who she doesn't like. She doesn't like Garcelle. She doesn't respect Sutton. So when they do it, it's an attack. But when Dorit does it, it's her being a friend. You see, it doesn't cut all the ways. And Erika, just you shut up and sit down, sweetheart. Just get yourself together and stay out of the conversation. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. And before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.